rise and saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Thank you all for coming, and would you please all silence your cell phones, please? Who's me? Meeting details have been placed on the agenda to allow council members, staff, and the public to participate in the meeting via teleconference pursuant to the governor's order, executive order N-2920. There will be limited public access to the council chambers at this time. Members of the public may also remotely listen and participate via teleconference. If you wish to, during this call, if you press *9 to raise your hand to speak during the meeting, speakers will be asked to identify themselves. Speakers, a member of the public have the right to address the council. You changed this all up on me. You've changed it, good. Members of the public have the right to address the city council in order to speak their opinion regarding issues within the jurisdiction of the city council, at all regular city council meetings, special meetings. Please speak from the podium. When the addressing of the council, please state your name for the record prior to providing your comments. Please address the council as a whole. Public comments. This is a time for public comments. Council may take no action during the public comments section of this meeting, except to direct staff to prepare a report or place on a future item agenda. If you're here to make comments on a specific agenda item, you may speak at this time. If not, this is the time. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes. Alrighty.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask how to get on?
After that, yeah, let me real quick before we get started. I'm sorry, we need to go.
Yeah.
I would like to pull, as long as it's okay with the council, items number 2 and 4. Number 2 is discussion of possible action on community wildfire protection plan. And number 4 is discussion of possible action on the animal control MOU. And these items, there's some verbiage that we need to get cleaned up, is the reason why I'm pulling it. So if that's okay with the council?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sorry, now go ahead, Paul.
No, I was just say, having been on 2 meetings over the phone, there's no way to know who's speaking. So if we could ask even council and city managers or acting city managers and police chiefs and to speak, because it just kind of rolls through there and somebody talks and somebody else talks. And I will tell you that I think maybe 3 or 4 times on the last call I was on, did anybody identify themselves? I think it was Debbie Barrett mostly. And
yeah, she's been good about that, huh?
I didn't know who you were when you were talking.
Good job, Dad.
Come on, who's talking? All right.
thank you.
So this is time for public comments.
Sorry, Lorenzo.
Sharon Barney joined the meeting.
This is the time to permanently ban fireworks. Global warming's not going to reverse itself. It's going to be like this next year. This is the new normal. And this way you can give the people, these service groups who rely on this for fundraising, chance to find some other means of fundraising. But it's going to have to be banned because you're going to be the same situation next year.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Appreciate that. Tell me.
Thank you. As you recall from the last meeting, if I might briefly, Mr. Mayor, recap real quick for the audience.
Yes, please. Yeah.
The federal government issued an invitation publicly for the local governments to participate in the drought issue. And they have 2 specific geological areas. One was the Colorado River Basin, the other is the Klamath watershed. So they were invited, so was it the last meeting or anyway, the previous meeting, I presented the city council with a letter requesting to participate in those drought discussions for our area. And not only them, but I'm here to report that this coalition that we're trying to build we now have Cockrell Lake Fire Protection District that sent their letter in, identical to the one that I presented to you, to the council. And the city of Montague has joined Cockrell Lake and filed their letter to be participating in that. So I would hope that this council would do the same thing. On the 13th, I'm going to be speaking to the Montague Irrigation District. And the previous discussions with two of their board members, they were very favorable. And so I'm hoping to have them, when I come back on the 20th, that we'll have 3. I'd like to see a countywide, a lot of local governments join in this coalition. But initially, if we can start with just the 4 and get on the board and get at the table, we're going to be the only ones, because all of the tribes in Siskiyou County have signed on and been accepted to sit at the table. There's nobody else but you guys and the 2 other entities so far. Who's going to speak for, I'm sorry, guys?
Oh, no.
Oh, I thought you
I just put my glasses up.
You look like you have a question.
No, my glasses were falling down on me.
Okay, so anyway, that's why I came tonight in hopes that that this council would do that. The scoping process, which is the first step in this, before they start the discussions, start on July 20th.
Oh, wow.
Here, I'll give you real quick. They sent me the.
It's still on. Excuse me, I
I'm sorry?
just have this is council member Joan Smith Freeman, for anyone listening that doesn't know me. I was just having a question, is our attorney on?
No, he's not.
Because
So,
this should be something.
yeah,
that
we
our
are.
attorney
That's
should
why
hear.
we're gonna go ahead and bring it back up on July 20th. And then we'll have Don present for that especially,
Thank you.
for sure. No, I agree.
Thank you. No, thank you. The scoping session is from Tuesday, the 20th to the 22nd. It will not be an open virtual meeting or real meeting. It's going to be by telephone. You're not even going to hear anybody else if you have any comments. That's another reason to have this coalition. So we have a unified voice in what we say to them about how we want the drought issues dealt with. So other than that, I don't have anything else. If you have any questions, I want to thank you again for your time. And we've got to have a voice in this.
Yes.
Otherwise, we're going to be out of water.
Thank you, Tony. And like I said, we'll bring that up on July 20th. We'll have that on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Joe. Hello
I'm
there.
Jerry Jarrett. Some of you. I'm affiliated with the Rotary Club of Yreka, and I'm just here to briefly let you know that we're in the middle of a 3-year plan to replace some of the tables at Greenmore Park. We've completed the first phase, and we've applied for a matching grant for some more tables to work on the second phase. And our goal is, of course, to finish up the third phase next year. And we've been really happy with the cooperation from the council and from the city public works department. And I just wanted to let you know that that crew is doing a great job, and we appreciate working with them and what they're doing for the town. Our goal is really to replace those old tables up there. And we so far spent $4,000, and we're going to spend another $4,000. We may be seeking some other matching funds to carry on with the project. But just wanted to report that to you and let you know that we appreciate all these things. We hope to, as a service club, make Yreka even better than it already is.
That's awesome. Great.
If I may,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, and again, this is Joan Smith Freeman, City Council member, past mayor, and currently just here for the ride. I just wanted to thank you, Jerry, so much. And Jerry's very humble because he's actually the president of Yreka Rotary. And for all who do not know, I am a member of the Yreka Rotary Club. And I'm so proud of the Rotary Club and the work that you've done. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. And these have been tough times for community club members because we haven't been able to meet. But honestly, Yreka Rotary has done a lot even without meeting very much. So thank you, and thanks for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Say hi
Jerry.
now. Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Have any more public comments? Anybody on Zoom or anything? Nope.
Seeing them at this time.
Okay, great. Well, then we will move on to number one, that's presentation of Siskiyou Economic Development Council. Yay.
Thank you very much for allowing us time on the agenda. My name is Tanya Dowse, and I'm with the Siskiyou Economic Development Council. I'm joined by my teammate, Corey Hayden. And we're so pleased to be here in person to provide an update to the City Council about our work. In particular, this afternoon, we are going to showcase the status and progress of the Yreka economy. I have a handout that Corey and I prepared for you as council members, and I think we have a few extra if we really want to copy. It's also being projected on the screen, so you'll be able to follow along with interest. And at that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Corey and pass it.
Awesome.
Thank you all for your patience while waiting for our presentation today. By the end of our presentation, you'll have a reminder of our vision for this incredible space in downtown Yreka. You'll also see we completed the anticipated milestones of the project, so you can get a good, strong feel for when the grand opening of the Yreka building will be. You'll also see some of our capital fundraising milestones that have been both completed and that are anticipated. And so I think you'll really walk away from today with a lot of information that you've been anticipating. So first of all, thank you for entrusting our organization with the future of this incredible community asset. We have a strong, what we call adaptive reuse and placemaking plan for the Carnegie building that will allow it to be a visitor-facing experience and a business incubator, and will also house the professional services of several economic organizations that are, we think, very vital to our county. Not only is our work an investment in the building, we also feel strongly that it's an investment in the West Minor historic district. So the investment in this building will support and attract additional use and business strength on Minor Street and the district as well. So I'm just going to start to walk you a little bit through the documents in front of you. So just for my own refresher as well. So it introduces our mission as the Siskiyou County Economic Development Council, reminds you of our professional team that has put this plan together, and just a little bit about our work to inspire long-term stability and investment, specifically in, obviously, Siskiyou County always, but in this case, specifically in the West Minor Historic District project. It is our vision for this historical asset to serve once again as a cornerstone of the community and downtown infrastructure for another 100 years. So I just want you to know how passionately we feel about this project, in addition to our council. We certainly believe this project is a win-win for the community, both in the programs that will be offered and the updating and long-term maintenance plan for the building. I'm just going to talk through the floor plan just so you can kind of vision what that will look like for the visitor experience and for our businesses in Siskiyou County. So I'm just here looking at the floor plan on page 4, and I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what you see here. So the original footprint of the building, so the original Carnegie ground floor, would be carefully restored as a welcoming foyer for visitors. The building will showcase local attractions, tourism assets, and provide visitors with essential information to enhance their travel experience in Yreka and Siskiyou. The existing 4 offices on the main floor, which you can see here in the illustration, will provide modern workspaces to facilitate the delivery of business and visitor services. So just talking about those first 2 attractions in terms of the building, think about our role as Discover Siskiyou and about our role as the Small Business Development Center. So those are two capstone programs that we offer and programs that would really allow for engagement from the community and our visitors. The ground floor addition, so if you think about the locker room and the, I always call it locker room and bathrooms and storage in the back addition.
Excuse me.
Those will be reconfigured into modern multi-purpose conference room. So when we talk about meeting together or having something, a professional experience among stakeholders, this will provide reservable professional space with modern technology, screen, sound, and also kitchen and restrooms in that back area. So we're really excited to put forth that community base camp element as well. I think that would have a great community benefit. So again, those are just a few ways that people would be engaging the services in this beautiful facility. I want to run down just building amenities in terms of what we offer here. Technically enabled conference spaces to rent, modern on-demand office spaces available for working, our Discover Siskiyou Base Camp tourism assets, our small business development center, the professional staff, so anywhere from 7 to 10 employees will be housed in this building and actively engaged in Minor Street commerce on a daily basis, such as coffee shops and hopefully Level Up Fitness. So we're very excited to just be present on Minor Street as professionals. We'll house the Small Business Development Center, as I mentioned, and provide flexible space to host collaborative work between business partners. And as you know, one thing we specialize in is industry sector support. And so the idea of this facility being able to hold business incubator activities to help our businesses start up, grow, and expand. It'll just be a wonderful footprint for businesses to come and meet and plan and develop in this setting. So thank you for letting me refresh your mind about the vision of what the building could offer, will offer underneath our oversight. And Tanya's going to talk through some things you've been interested in hearing about, the project timeline and milestones. And
thanks, Corey. So if you would like to turn to page 6 in the handout, this a couple members of the council have asked for this update, and these two particular pieces of information that I'm going to just talking through this afternoon was asked for. So this is a basic timeline that just showcases sort of the beginning of the project through completion with some of the milestones. And I know many of you will remember that we've been talking about the adaptive reuse of the Carnegie Library for a long time. But we started working on this project in earnest in 2019, when we really started to put together the reuse plan and the concept and the vision that Corey highlighted for you. So you can see that's the beginning of our timeline for all intents and purposes. And then if you look at in 2020, the city led an RFP that provided an opportunity for community nonprofits to compete for being selected as the potential recipient of the asset for reuse and rehabilitation. And we were successful in that RFP, and we're very pleased that we were successful. That really brought to light the vision that we have, and I think really married it with your priorities as a city, and we're just super excited about that. In addition, a couple of other things, we did submit for with your help, a CDBG planning grant that would provide the funding to do the really key and important document and planning that's necessary before we can actually begin construction of the building. And we were successful in 21, being selected to receive $250,000 for that planning grant. In addition, in 21, we did go ahead and pursue and complete the environmental assessment and cleanup planning on the building, so that we have really what's going on is we're in this current phase now where we're trying to get the building to a status of what they call shovel ready. And that is a key milestone, because once the building is shovel ready, we'll have a really good handle on the full plan for construction and professionally developed cost estimates as well. That's usually the sticking point in applying for funds. is if your project is shovel ready, then that will open the door for many of the funding mechanisms that will be available to complete this project. And then just showcasing some of the other milestones coming ahead, which I know that you guys are really interested in. That's the securing the capital to complete the construction phase of it, obviously the construction phase, and then opening and occupancy. And this again is just a pretty rough outline, but give you an indication of where we think we are in the process and what we see the process as is unfolding. The next page is just an outline of capital planning for the project. So this is actually, I think this is a really helpful way of looking at how the progress. So you can see that to date, we've spent $375,000 in the development of the plan, the feasibility, the concept, and really just getting it to this place. And then as we look forward, we're going to anticipate and hopefully the actual equity investment that goes in the project. That will be the transition of the real estate title and additional equity investment provided by the EPC. And then that leaves us with the big component of the project, which is our current unmet need, and that's the construction phase. So based on our kind of rough estimate, we believe the total project to be about $2.5 million from start to finish. And the construction phase is just about $1.5 million. And I know that you can all look at this and understand that these are really rough estimates based on our best attempt at getting a good handle on the total project from start to finish. So
I was gonna joke that Dwayne has insight on the square footage cost.
Well, I had the opportunity to spend some time with city staff in developing these cost estimates too, and I know that we're probably on the low end from a city's perspective, but we're pretty optimistic that as a private entity that we might be able to achieve that. So again, those plans are going to be really telling. That's when you really have professionals who know in the field to help us develop the cost estimates. Getting the project shovel ready is a really important turning point. The other thing I'll share with you, because I have a feeling that there's at least a couple on the council that might be disappointed with the timeline, just that we're really optimistic that we're going to be really successful in tapping into some private foundation funding for construction, and that will really shrink the timeline. You know, just as an example, we've been a year and a half in CDBG waiting for funding.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's a bit extraordinary. You know, obviously the pandemic created difficulties that were unforeseen and unanticipated. But it is the pursuit of public investment is a much longer time horizon than the pursuit of private investment.
Do you want to take it from here, Corey, or sure? We're just gonna highlight a little bit about why the SPDC is uniquely qualified. We'll just highlight some of our past success in large projects. And as soon as I give that small information, we invite questions from council to both Tony and I in response to what you've seen today. So we expressed when we completed the RFP why our organization is uniquely qualified. We tend to cite our experience doing economic development for 30 years and the professional capacity of our staff, the expertise of our executive director, Tanya, and then our guiding work in terms of our MOU with city and the county, which entrusts and partners the economic development to fulfill an economic development plan or strategy. And so in this case, we are identifying an extremely valuable asset. We are finding a way to reuse that asset. We think it's a sustainable plan. And just to cite some of our prior work, we have owned property before, actually in partnership with the city. We owned and operated a business incubator and commercial kitchen projects. And there's a really nice historical paragraph here about that joint venture. We have brought in the Yreka Brownfields asset to this particular project through phase 1 to phase 2 assessments. That's been a long time program that we have overseen that has provided several benefits to the county. And then in terms of just other sites that we have helped develop and introduce back into the county into functioning assets. So we mentioned that here. In terms of our work, we specialize in economic sector growth, which means we really watch the areas that are emerging or declining or have potential. And so we seek to support agriculture, outdoor recreation, tourism, wood fibers, just to name a few. These are some sectors that are highly successful, have potential in our county. And so through our work, we seek to help and grow those sectors. The Discover CCTV is a great example. We often talk about working with cities and the county to unify the hotel properties to develop a plan that was very sustainable for tourism and those businesses in our county. What else do I want to mention? Our expertise in business services. So we've cited our work with 500 individual businesses over the course of the year to help them become resilient, access capital, and to be successful businesses in our county. So it's just a brief reminder of some of our work, also knowing that our work is supported by different partners. The city and county jurisdictions is one extremely essential partner to our work. The Ford Family Foundation has been an essential partner to our small business services work. I mentioned the Huntington jurisdiction and the relationship with TKID. And so we just want to remind you of large scale projects that we have successfully overseen, and we truly feel that we have the capacity and oversight to implement this project.
Questions, right?
Awesome. No, thank you. Is council, yes.
Yeah, Councilman McCoy. A couple of questions. As far as the inside goes, I see that you're leaving the fireplace effect that was in every one of these types of Carnegie libraries. Are you also going to leave the dark cabinets? You're not planning to rip that out, are you?
We actually intend to consult with the historian. It is our intent to consult with and hire an architect who specializes in historical restoration. And to be honest with you, council member, I don't think we have a plan yet for the interior color scheme.
We will learn what is most appropriate and follow those cues.
Well, I can tell you as a historical sites archaeologist major, bachelor's in historical sites archaeology, you're going to find that one historical architect is going to tell you one thing and another one's going to tell you another. Somebody in Chicago will tell you differently than somebody in San Francisco.
I anticipate that we will be able to invite participation from the council through the planning phases and would be really welcome to your input.
Have you had a chance, or has anybody suggested that you go look at some of these? There are quite a number going up the coast, and if you were to go look, I've been in 3 or 4, and there were some of them changed over as many as one of them I was in was 40 years ago, and it became a church. But they left a lot of because I know for the ADA, you're talking about doing minimally invasive things to the historic. But I mean, I think that would be very important to keep it as historically accurate as possible.
I think what's really fortunate for us in the case of this particular building is that we actually have some more contemporary additions that allow us flexibility in our use planning and provide us even better opportunity to maintain the integrity of that historical footprint and still do everything we want to do with it. And yes, we did have a chance to research some the other Carnegie Library reuse projects, and really they have inspired this plan that's in front of you. We just think it's going to be a neat interface with the community and visitors, residents, and businesses, and just really a nice, vibrant asset on Minor Street.
Is the second story actually a second story, or is it a mezzanine? There's a difference in California law as to what is required for ADA between a mezzanine and a second story.
A good question to be answered by experts in the field.
Yeah, you'd want to know that before you start laying any plans down, because a mezzanine does not require elevator, does not require ADA access to the mezzanine level. ADA is interpreted differently with the mezzanine. And I've been in and out of that building a lot when I was at Jackson Street as vice principal and our assistant principal. And it's, I don't think it's a second story actually. I've always thought it was a mezzanine. That's why. So, and then where do you plan? Do you have to have ADA entrances front, back? Because I know on here it says you're probably won't be able to do it on the front because of the rise of the, of the steps outside and the steps that are in the lobby. So do you think you're going with ADA from the back?
So I think my first blush answer to that question is probably yes, but really, it really is, we're at that point with the project, where we're gonna secure the services, again, of architects and engineers who are gonna really define the plan for us. And we, obviously we want it to be as accessible as possible for all residents and all stakeholders to utilize the facility. And so I don't think I have a really great answer for you, other than definitely paying attention to ADA accessibility.
Okay, because I know that the front part has been changed to red without even a meeting of the police chief, the fire chief, city manager, and that was done without a committee meeting, which Steve told me has to have a committee meeting, so that would have to be changed back if you wanted to use parking there. The other thing that's going on in the back is that homeless are living in the back parking lot, so. Okay, yeah, I would like to see as much of the inside wood preserved.
Especially if it's historical, we need to. We
Yeah.
utilize it as much as we can, yeah. That's something we'll just address in the, yes, Joan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is Joan Smith Freeman, council member since 2014. Anyway, I just would like to say how happy I am to see this. As you know, I want you guys in there yesterday. I just love this whole building, and I was thrilled that you had an interest in it as much as we did. And the police moved out in 2018. Matt?
I don't think it was that long ago.
It's been a while.
It's been 3 years.
Art remembers, or
Has-
Mark, Chief Mark.
Yeah.
I think it's
Wow.
been 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
because I've been concerned about it being left vacant.
Vacant.
And, old buildings don't do well when they're left vacant. So I'm pleased to see the planning. Also pleased, thank you for applying for and getting the funding to go forward with this, because it's so needed. And we don't want to lose this beautiful building on Minor Street. This is part of the history of our town. So thank you for the time and energy that you put into this. And, like I said, I just wish you guys could move in here tomorrow and start fixing it up. But I know how hard it is to be in a building that's being renovated. So I know that's got to be hard. It looks like that we're looking at 2022, 2023, depending on the funding. Well,
2 years ago.
it looks really good. And I'm really pleased to see that you're putting in your ability for the community to be involved in this building as well, since it is on Minor Street and it is part of our history. And we have so many small nonprofits around here. It's really nice that you'll have space, that can be used for meetings and such. So thank you for all your good work.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you for doing this.
Yes,
Thank
very
you,
much.
Brian.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for the presentation and all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate it.
Thank
This
you,
is all new to
Tanya.
me, so
Thank you,
I
Corey.
want to look it over.
Awesome. Awesome. Oh, Corey.
All right.
She's talking to herself.
I do it all the time. So. All right, well, since we dismissed number 2 on that, we'll go to number 3, which is discussion possible action consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and non-controversial. Good one, Arthur.
That's nice for a change.
These items will be enacted in one motion unless a member of council wishes to remove an item for discussion or a member of the audience wishes to comment on the item. The city manager, which is acting right now, recommends approval of following consent calendar items. A, approval ratification of payments issued from June 7th, 2021 through June 27th, 2021. B, approval of minutes of the meeting held June 15th, 2021. C, continuation of urgency ordinance number 855. D, treasurer's report on cash and budget to actuals May 2021, excuse me. E, adopt a resolution appointing a delegate to the League of Cities, California Cities. That kind of got slipped in there. And F, waive full text readings on all ordinance on the agenda. Ordinance shall be introduced and adopted by title only. So is there the council have any question? Yes.
Yes,
Mr.
Councilman McCoy, I'll make the motion to accept the consent calendar as presented.
Presented. And I do, before we have a second on that, you have read this, correct? Because
I know I
the delegate of that was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to
have
make you
read
fully
it.
aware that delegate was you, so.
I thank you. I have read it and I accept and I thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt, but okay, so we have a motion.
Councilman Middleton, I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion, and a second by Middleton. Mr. Bray, would you call a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember Freeman.
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton.
Aye.
And Mayor.
Aye. All righty.
I'll be proud.
You better.
We thought you'd enjoy that. So I kind of slipped it in there. That's why I wanted to make sure you read it.
Well, the state board, as you know, this is Joan Smith Freeman again. I do sit on the state board of the California League Cities, and their board meeting is at that time. So when I'm down there, then they'll pay for one night of my stay.
Oh, okay,
Because the meeting is there. Yeah, that helps.
that does help.
And it's in Sacramento, so I can drive.
Nice. That's cool. That worked out good then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on to, actually, we skip number 4 again, because that's going to be on the future agenda. Number 5, discussion possible action, no parking sign placement. Adopt a resolution approving of no parking signs being placed adjacent to the vacant land that fronts Campus Drive and 4H Way. And this one is Chief, who's walking around.
Yes.
Chief Gilman.
Find a way through.
Hi, sir.
Chief Gilman. So basically what we're looking for, we talked about before, was a no parking signs where some of the homeless had built up camps that was blocking access with Caltrans, all the work we have, fires, everything else. We moved them, fire saved it. And we're just really concerned that we're gonna start getting more vehicles, more trailers and stuff in there. So we're just requesting that we put up no parking signs along that stretch in front of the COS there, right to the corner. And down the corner, actually, down 50.
Now, Mr. Gilman, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just a clarification, if I may.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor,
please.
Joan Smith Freeman, council member. You're talking about on the east side? Wait a minute, is that the east side? Okay, not on the west side where
Correct.
the college and behavioral health uses.
Correct.
Okay.
So when you go past mental health, you're going northbound and you start hitting that dirt lot that's behind Caltrans on the
Right.
east side of Campus Drive. We want to place signs there along the city property going to the corner. Then it makes a turn going down towards NorCal.
Right.
And we just want to close off that.
All
part
of
of the
that. Good.
Now,
Thank you.
Mr. Gilman, this is Dwayne K. Mr. Gilman, isn't part of this too, because Caltrans in this coming season is going to start using that for a staging area too, for the project for Main Street project, and is that correct too, Matt?
Caltrans has requested that as a possibility for their staging area. They're looking for staging all over town. That's a
Yeah,
vacant
I think that'd be a
lot,
real
so.
good spot for them too,
Well-
by having it there, so. Oops. Yes,
No,
Joe?
Mr. Mayor, and Matt, let's say Mr. Gray,
Sure.
Mr. Acting City Manager. Okay, and that is the piece of property that's directly behind Caltrans
Correct.
maintenance yard. So
Correct.
that's the perfect location for them. And I know they're going to be coming to us either for sale or use.
Yes,
They're also interested in purchasing the property.
yes.
Yes, they are.
So which should be most suited for them anyways, all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
So they can definitely use it a lot more than we can, so. Yes, Mr. McCoy.
Councilman McCoy, and with all due respect to the council and to the chief, there is, according to our former city manager, Steve Baker, there is a protocol to do this, and there is a committee set up through city council that anytime we're going to change parking on a city street that it goes through. And I know when I asked for some parking changes on a loading zone on Minor and a loading zone Black's Appliance, Steve told me we'll have to get the committee together, which consists of a police chief, fire chief, city manager, and I think one councilman and maybe one other. So I support it, but I think we need to go through
The process.
because there are some other areas that I'd like to see, and I'd asked Steve for them 2.5 years ago, and Steve could never get it together to get, but he told me, we have a committee, has to go through committee.
So.
And then we bring it back, we bring the recommendation, committee brings recommendation back to council.
So on, Mr. Yreka, Mr. McCoy, is that with off-street parking? Because this is off-street parking, so it's a little different. So I don't know if that has to go through.
Oh, you're not putting, I thought you were marking the.
No, this is
Oh,
off-street.
so they can
parking.
still park on the street?
Correct.
Correct. So our goal is the street spot.
No, that wouldn't matter. I stand corrected,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's.
Are
what
we
I'm
going to
talking
put some nice bollards and set them in concrete so we can lock them in and pull them out there too?
I would love to.
I think if we're gonna know park there, we need to get 2 bollards there. You know, you set the sleeves in,
Right.
then you lock them in, and then nobody drives through there. So,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the streets. That's why I
Yeah,
was,
no,
I was under that impression as well.
yeah.
I should explain that more. We already have an ordinance that you're not allowed to park off of the street in my area. The problem is that with all the homeless issues we have, they've been pulling trailers and vans.
Yeah.
These are lots of worried about fires and
Sure.
trying to get them out to Caltrans. So we want to post all of that line on the inside of the street, not on the
Okay.
street itself. So they can't
Uh,
drive over the curb and go park.
I stand corrected, Councilman
Point
McCoy.
of clarification, it's Matthew Bray, to Councilman McCoy. You are correct when it's on-street parking, and the previous committee, which I've sat, was the police chief, the city manager, and myself. And if we needed another, if one was out, we would pull in the maintenance and operations manager.
Okay.
And so it was a committee of 3. And then typically when we have red curb determinations, those come through ordinance, the chief. So chief has to sign off on it. The committee would meet. We would discuss the why and how, all of the effects of the red curb determination. It all lands on that form for some reason, but we just never. So you're correct. And
Was that done, may I ask, this is Councilman, was that done when the parking at the police department was changed from 20-minute to a no parking zone? Because that's nothing that came to the council.
that's a traffic committee decision, yes.
Okay, so the traffic committee did meet.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm gonna bring you something, because I asked again for 2.5 years ago for traffic committee to meet, and Steve Baker couldn't get it. I asked 3 or 4 times. He could not get it together.
So Mr. Yreka, I agree. I think as soon as Randy Johnson, the interim, comes on board, I think these are, we need to have set some dates aside to have a discussion on some of these issues.
Yeah.
That all of us, I think, have some issues on some streets and some issues with streets. Obviously, there's been numerous times been brought up in front of the hospital on Bruce Street there. That's been brought up numerous times. There's other by COS, I brought it up because of obviously the close proximity to me, but that, yield sign there, that's a stop that nobody
Yeah.
yields.
But a loading zone on Minor that nobody uses, a double park.
Yep.
That Blacks used to use, but
Yep.
Blacks has
That's
been
a
gone
prime
for
example,
15
yep.
years. A loading zone at Blacks Home Furnishings that no one uses. If UPS is going to deliver, they double park. We had 2 20-minute parks at the library that would be great parks that are across from the fire department. They were 20-minute and they were just changed to red. Those really should be open parks for people to park on Minor Street.
Yeah, and I
So
agree.
there's quite a number of those
Yeah,
things. And I checked with you before about 2.5 years ago, or who was the chief? I checked with them at the time and they
I've
said,
been here since 16.
they said, don't worry, don't worry about it. We can get out.
Yeah, so let me clarify that. So the reason.
This is Chief Lemus, just so.
Sorry, Chief Linus, clarify. The reason we had that change to red curb was we pull our ladder truck and our engines, back end, we have the back end. Vehicles were parking there, and we had them as soon as we were trying to pull forward to start our back end, they were doing U-turns right in the street, and almost had some collision, so, and then we had squabbles with the folks, and I understand it's limited parking there, but we had to do it. Someday we'll get our new station and we'll be an issue.
Yeah, there you go.
I would say if we're gonna have squabbles over U-turns, that we cite them.
True.
And then if they want to squabble,
That was something I think
we can cite them
Yeah.
for more, because I see U-turns there all the time, and whether there's a fire engine there or not, it's unsafe.
And Mr. Gray is familiar with that, so that's something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so I
just, it's
think-
unsafe.
So I think, I think very, very good points, Mr. McCoy. Thank you. I think like I said, this is definitely something we need to bring back up. And set a date for this to go over these safety issues but I think it'd be more proper suited when we can have the new interim manager here, so we can focus on that and do.
But I wanted Matt to know, because he's our continuity in this.
Yes.
Matt's our continuity in this process right
Absolutely.
now. And the thing is, I am very frustrated that for 2.5 years, I guess I was strung along.
Yeah.
So,
No, I
yeah,
agree.
I don't like being strung along.
Like I said, I agree because these are issues that.
I may
all of
look
us-
stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
You're born on a Saturday, what was last Saturday? Gotcha. No, we'll definitely bring it up.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
definitely have to move forward on some of these issues. So thank you. So now we're back to number 5. Is there any other questions on it?
I have
Yes.
one more.
Okay.
Go for it. I'm sorry. This is okay. Councilmember Baird.
Sure.
What is the verbiage going to be on the sign? Because I didn't see that it said vacant property. That's how come I was a little.
Right, and that's
hesitant.
actually an excellent question. I wasn't sure if that would just use one of our city signs for like the parks and stuff. That's something we can talk with Mr. Brayer, the council can decide now, or table, or whatever you want to do. We're kind of rushing this through just because we don't want to.
Yeah.
Situation.
We're keeping-
Decision. And that's an
No,
excellent
I'm-
question. I haven't come up with.
Well, and Caltrans may start moving in sooner than we think, so.
I'm good with it. I just think this actual sign for us commoners needs to say no parking on vacant
Vacant lot.
lot.
Yeah,
I need that word vacant there.
yeah.
That makes sense. And there's the meeting code for it that we can place on the sign. That's
There you go.
a violation of this meeting code that's already in place for parking. So that's definitely something we can add to the sign.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Lauren. Joan, did you have a comment?
I was gonna make a motion.
Oh.
Nope, he already clarified because I thought it was for the Council
Okay.
Middleton.
Okay,
I thought it
I
was
would
for
like
that
to make
street.
the
too.
recommended, excuse me, this is Joan Smith Freeman. I'll make the recommended motion that the city council adopt a resolution approving no parking on vacant land signs being placed adjacent to the vacant land that fronts Campus Drive and 4-H Way.
This is Councilmember Baird. I'll second.
Motion, second. Mr. Bray, would you do a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember Freeman,
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy,
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton,
Aye.
and Mayor Gill.
Aye. Thank you, Mark. Do you want
Thanks, Chief.
Good job. Thank you.
to?
You guys are sneaking out. Thank you.
So we're off to number 6, discussion possible action waiver of nepotism, approval of the waiver of employment of a family member pursuant to Yreka Municipal Code 02.50.020. And this is Mark, you should have stayed right up there. Whoops, I'm sorry.
We just wanted to see you go back.
Yeah. You didn't get your steps in today.
Guitar box.
All right, this is Chief Gilman again. So the next issue is we don't have animal control officers. So we're trying to hire one. We went through a testing process. Found a really good candidate, someone that worked out. His wife happens to be a part-time dispatcher on the department. Through our city, or through the Yreka Police Department policy manual, there was an issue that I found out going through the hiring process that differed with the city nepotism issue. There was, you can't be supervised by a family member, I think it's to a 3rd degree. You can't work in the same locale, doesn't describe what locale is, and can't be supervised by the same supervisor. So as far as being supervised, neither one of them would supervise each other. One's dispatch, one's animal control. Being supervised by the same supervisor also would be an issue. Animal control falls under a lieutenant, dispatch falls under a dispatch supervisor, which falls under a sergeant. The only other issue we had was locale. There's no definition for what locale is. Dispatch works in the dispatch center. Animal control works in the middle of the building in their own center with Willow and the other people. So I'm not sure what the definition of locale would mean. I'm requesting that we allow it. His wife, Trevor's wife, she works 4 hours every other Sunday. That's all she works. She has a full-time dispatching job. Animal control works Monday through Friday, so they wouldn't even be working together or being dispatched by each other unless there was an emergency when we're having car home. So there would be a possibility that she could be a dispatcher while he's on duty. Highly rare. So I just brought this to the council to see if I can see if we need a waiver to allow the definition of locale being there. And the other two, I don't believe we fall.
Thank you, Mark. Is there some comments or questions by the council?
This is Paul McCoy. As long as the chief is comfortable and feels good about it, and the fact that he's got him supervised by different people, And then animal control isn't in the building all the time. They're out and about and they're out at the site, so that I would be comfortable with that, correct?
Any other questions, council? Yeah,
Okay.
if you don't do it, I'll do it.
Okay, I'll be happy to do it. So the agreement, let's see.
Number 6.
I know, but I'm looking.
It's way in the back.
Oh, I thought I was. Wait a minute. Okay, I want to make a motion to approve. As soon as I find it, that's no parking.
May I go ahead and you second?
You go ahead.
Councilmember Baird.
Okay, so you're,
I'd like to move that we approve the waiver for employment of a family member pursuant to Yreka Municipal Code 02.50.020.
now that is a first over there and a second over
And
here.
I
Is
will
this-
second that. This
Okay, so
is
we have a motion by
Councilmember-
Debbie Baird and a
Yep.
second by Joe Smith.
Yes.
All righty, thank you both. Mr. Bray, please.
Mayor
do roll
Pro
call.
Tem Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember Freeman,
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy,
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton,
Aye.
Mayor Kay.
Aye, thank you again, Mark. Mr. Chief.
Yes.
All right, and now we're on to the highlight. 7, discussion possible action, Siskiyou Media Council approval of proposed agreement with Siskiyou Media Council. Who won the bet, or who lost the bet?
And Kate, council members. So the original agreement with the Siskiyou Media Council was finalized back in 2012. The scope of work involves broadcasting and recording the city council meetings to the public, as well as the YCTV 4 channel. We also provide video on demand access on the website to all scheduled meetings of the city council. And so this issue came before you last time on May 4th, and we have Sheriff Frederick here again to present information to the council. A new agreement has been drafted that would start this year, and it would renew automatically each year until 2027 for the same amount of funding as the last agreement, which was $5,800 per year, paid in quarterly installments. And if you have any further questions, Paris would be happy to answer.
That's how that works. I got it.
I can perform my answers. Interpretive dance is the thing.
All right.
Hi,
Hello.
council members. Thank you so much for having this come before you again. I really don't have much more to say than what I've already said. We just appreciate obviously the chance to keep going. And as I've said before, it's one of the oldest public access channels in the entire country. So that alone, the historic aspect of it is pretty darn cool. We're doing everything in our power to revitalize and bring it kind of back up, and also utilizing the archives that are kind of coming out of the woodwork now that we've mentioned it here. Somehow people are getting in touch with us and saying, hey, we've got some archives and stuff. So hopefully we'll just be able to keep going, and hopefully we'll have the doors remain open. Do you have any questions? I'm
So
sorry.
I do,
Sure.
okay, it's probably for both you and Arthur. On this agreement, one of the questions I have is why are we going through to 2027 on that? Is there-
Well, usually, I mean, actually, it doesn't even need a year because of the fact that it's usually a rollover.
Right,
But I know that franchise, I'm gonna be honest with you, franchise fees as far as the county have been established through the cable operators
Right.
through 2027.
oh, I see, so that's
After
why.
2027, who knows?
I got
It's a
you,
big
I got
question
you.
mark up in the air.
I see. I don't know, yes.
Councilmember Baird, I actually appreciate you guys, but I think that I would like to see us do the recording in-house. I'd like to see it on our website, and I understand that some of the younger generation likes to have this on the YouTube, but I think the bare minimum, we should have it on our own home website for the city. It just, and if we're using staff to do the recording and everything anyway, I kind of question most of the cost is coming on us, the city, anyway. And there was one other aspect which I might have to get back to you on.
It's
It's not coming back, but I do think that if you want to support them to a certain degree, yes, but I think that we're already paying, not you, paying the staff to do all of this. So I would also like to have a discussion later on regarding having an IT person designated specifically for IT stuff.
Arthur, on that, on as far as putting it on the website and doing that sort of thing, is that how much of a feasible thing is that?
I believe it's possible. I don't know how much staff it would take to get that done. I'd have to get back to you with the actual figures number. Oh,
Yes, the answer, yes.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is that you can actually provide a link right now, and have that link just either go to.
Straight to the.
Yeah, to the Siskiyou Media Council webpage, which it's our duty as public access, because it's public education and government, to air those. Whether you choose to do it in-house or not, it's still our duty. And the franchise fees are set up so that they are the ones that are supporting that public access channel that you guys created, that it is the Yreka channel. So we're only hosting it for $5,800 a year, running an entire television station, which is not easy to do. So, I mean, it's on top of, it's not just these public access, the council meetings that we're doing. We're trying to actually bring the community together, and not just the community of Yreka, but including Yreka in the entirety of Siskiyou County. And for us, creating the news right now is a weekly news that we are doing as volunteers. Having that information go out to the far reaches of this county, which it is doing, is inclusive. And that to me is what public access is. So, yeah.
Sorry, Madam Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I just have a question about
Yes,
historical
please.
data. So this is Councilmember Jones Smith. So Paris, it's my understanding that Channel 4 has a great deal of history.
It does.
And a lot of old time archives. And where are those housed?
So unfortunately, as you know, it's very old, right? And so it's switched hands many, many times.
Right.
And you weren't here for this whole big giant, which I can send it to you. But the thing is we fell into a time where we were run by somebody who had ulterior motives. Okay. And some of those archives literally
disappeared.
Yeah, and so
I'm sorry.
it's awful. However, we have several archives that are on DVD, lots and lots. Elijah has been putting them up, and you have to do it in a rotation because video on demand only holds so much. But he does it in rotation, not only on the channels, but also on video on demand and on YouTube as well. And again, we are having people kind of come out now that I've said to people, hey, we don't have these things. And we were also hit by ransomware. So the FBI right now has right when I first came on board, so that's been 3 years, the FBI has our hard drives right now in Reading. And there are 2 hard drives. And so they're estimated something like 900 shows per hard drive. That's the estimation. So hopefully we'll be able to get those back. But Audra Balick, who is Audra Gibson, she just told me that she has a bunch that she's going to share with us. So we're trying, because to me, that's historical. That's something you're never, ever going to get back. And apparently there's some shows that people love really a lot on Channel 4 that we would love to have again. Yeah. So I agree with you, John.
That was my point, is that I would certainly like to preserve our historical Yreka data. If you have the pictures and if you have, the old time documentaries, it would be great to be able to play those and see those. And I know that if they're not stored correctly, and who knows if you don't have it.
We're digital now.
Okay,
Just so you
but
know.
if the old historical data isn't stored correctly, we lose that. So I would really like to see that protected
Me
that-
too, and
if
we are
all
doing
possible.
everything that we can, and like Elijah's on screen right now, he spends most of his time archiving, yeah. He spends most of his time archiving, he is our program director, and he's the one that puts up the shows, and he's also a big proponent for archiving, he's grown up here his whole life. So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, I agree.
So, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
And Madam Mayor Pro Tem. To me, it would seem that if we can preserve our historical data, clear back to the beginning of Yreka, and I know that there's a lot of old information in there. There's some Native American information, picture shows, as well as historical gold mining and things like that. If we could preserve that, this amount of money per year is minimal, in my opinion. I feel like it's worth it, as long as we can restore and utilize.
Yeah.
I mean, we want it on there. So that's my opinion, is that I would support this if we can, if we can keep our old historical data. That's so key, so important.
At that amount?
$5,800 a year for data is minimal.
Yes.
Councilman Bear. I occasionally go in and watch the channel. I've yet to catch anything on Yreka there as well. So if the only reason to support that is the historical value, and we understand that, maybe are you receiving funds from other cities as well?
So we receive funds from Weed and we receive funds from Dunsmuir. We used to receive $15,000 a year for as long as can be recorded from the Board of Supervisors, and for the second year have had an incredible time. And I'm not joking, through COVID, we cannot get loans, our PPP loans. I've been turned down now for 2 McConnell grants, which the first one was truly on point. It is very difficult to continue running 2 television stations with the amount of money that we're running. We are lucky that we have a agreement and a partnership with the College of the Siskiyous. That's truly what is keeping our door open, but it comes with a price. We have to, for that money, we have to do a lot. We filmed the graduation. We've done 2 graduations now that are virtual, which is literally filming and editing a full-length feature film in about 3 weeks. It is incredibly grueling work. That's just one thing in all of the sports. So for this money, it's not free. So what we're doing, we're out there getting things done, and the community asks us constantly, can you come film this? Can you come film this? I am filming all over the place for free because I want to bring this community together. And so I think for the city that created Yreka Community Television to begin with, it is not asking a lot for $5,800 to continue.
Which is only $1,420 a quarter. It says it's quarterly payments, right?
Correct.
So,
correct.
So, yeah, Mr. McCoy.
Mr. Mayor, if there's no further discussion on it, I would like to make a motion.
I do one, just real quick.
You got it.
I'm not comfortable with this going an ongoing thing for 2020 till 2027. If this is something that the council wants to move forward with, I think it needs to be addressed every year, and not just. I understand the whole concept of that going, but this is the reason why this got to the extreme that it did, because it was an ongoing thing for all these years, and it just kind of went down the wayside and nothing was ever, done. And then we ended up forking out money that was going to literally nothing at that time. And it has nothing against you guys, obviously, because you weren't part of that process then. But that's my 2 cents worth as far as that goes with the rest of the council. I don't know how the other council feels. Yes.
I just wanted, just for the sake of clarity, Oh. Section 2, the term of the agreement, it does say it shall begin in 2021, it shall renew automatically each year until 2027, in accordance with the city of Yreka's regular budget year. This budget shall be subject to annual review by the parties of the scope of the service and budget for future years. So there is language in there specifically speaking to an annual review.
And we
And
would
that-
have to come and present to you.
Good.
It also-
That's-
Every
And I
July.
think that's, I wanted to do that, to be honest with you. I think it now makes sense.
No, that's good. Mr. McCoy?
Paul McCoy here. It also says in section 17 that either party can terminate with a 60-day notice. But I'm gonna agree with Councilwoman Freeman that $1,500 is a small price to pay. Also, going into it, I can understand why Paris went into 7 years because of the cable thing. But at the same, the cable, because that's when the cable contract is up. And it's a fickle thing when those contracts come up. Those are the ones you always see. Well, you'll get this channel when we finish negotiating, blah, blah. But I believe that 5 years or 6 years is feasible. Not only that, I believe that we're getting the better end of the deal based on the fact that they would have to come renegotiate from 1,500 up 5 years from now. And we know with the inflation we're seeing now and probably going to see as long as Joe Biden is president, we're seeing 3 to 4% a year, a month. We're probably going to start seeing double-digit inflation or stagflation, which a couple of you were probably too young to know with Jimmy Carter. But when we were buying cars at 14% new and houses at 16 to 20%. So I would support the 27 contract at $1,500, and then I think that somewhere down the line, maybe 2 years. Because we do a 2-year budget, that's what we operate on, is 2-year budget. Then what we do is we get city manager, the mayor, and Paris together and talk about things and just make sure things are going well. And if there's anything that comes up, any bumps in the night, that's when you would discuss it. That's where I respectfully speak.
Council Middleton. So just a question, I'm kind of listening to Councilman Baird's concerns. So if we have ideas and want to call you and say, okay,
Sorry.
can we add this or enhance this, or we have somebody who's going to help you?
Yes, oh my God, I
And-
would be so grateful.
Right.
Just so
Okay.
you know, and it can be
I mean,
anything.
So it's just not, okay, we're doing this, and this is the way it's going to continue on for
Right.
No, no,
whatever.
no, right,
If we can
right.
add that link, then we can really enhance Yreka or the service that you provide.
Absolutely.
And I get your rebuilding, and I think it's great. And I know a lot of people go to YouTube. It's a generational thing. Debbie, we're talking about it.
It is generational. My dad goes
It's
to
YouTube,
YouTube
everything.
first to look for city.
Yeah. So, so if we have that link, then really just tell people this is where our meetings are, really promote it better, probably just like you're trying. I think it's worth the money
And Lorenzo's here,
Myself.
he reports on Facebook, I see what he does. And I try to then take your meeting and put it on that same page when he reports so that other people can engage and see it. So, not only is it going there, but it's also going on Facebook. So we try to put it in every platform we can, just again, to bring people together. That's the goal.
Yeah, because I think it'd be great too, because we hear it all the time. It's like, oh, I could make the meeting, Well, we need to promote what we're paying for to say, go to the meeting here. I
Yeah,
think
come
that's
to the
something we're
meeting.
not doing.
Come to the meeting.
Well, if they can't come to the meeting, this is a resource.
We'll go to the
that we're
meeting
gonna-
online,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Online.
Exactly.
So we need to promote it, we're paying for it. So that's something that,
Yeah.
council members and staff, we should do.
Yes, Joan.
That's all I have.
Councilmember Johnson Freeman, I agree. And what I did want to promote for Paris, she came and made a presentation to the Siskiyou Revitalization Network last year,
Yeah.
the year before. Anyway, and what she said and showed us how to do is they're asking for community reporters. And so all of us have a phone, right?
Yep.
And so we can do a little video and then just send it
Yeah,
sideways.
sideways.
A little video
Sorry.
and send it to Paris.
Anything,
And,
anything,
right.
literally
And so
anything.
maybe
not
we
gonna
just
film my
need to be more
hamster
involved. I agree
house.
with you. I'd like to see
I don't see
more.
Yreka on there.
I know,
So-
the only Yreka information I'm honestly seeing on there is the Resources Council.
And the news. Because we put it up every single week and we always include Yreka, but I want to tell you, so Dunsmere now has taken to emailing us all of their important points, actually, because
That's what we should do.
but truthfully, they're telling us,
Bullets.
okay, this needs to go out, this needs to go out, and so they're just one little email and we put it up as stories. These are important things that they feel strongly about. We also do it with the, what is it, First Five here, and we do it with, Yreka Community Resource Center. We put them in the news almost every week. The Sister Food Her Angels are gonna have a pet a month now for adoption. And I just spoke with her today, and the Rescue Ranch. So we're constantly in talks with them and they're giving us information so we can put it out there.
Let's build it.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
So
it's a constant thing.
this is Paul McCoy. So it sounds like we, either as council or somebody that's a contact for us in there or here, need to make sure that we're having contact with Paris's agency to make sure that we're getting on what we would like to see. And I think the bullet points is a good idea, like she's talking about. And and then the other things that sending her stories, as long as they've been vetted by the city, I mean, because there's lots of good little stuff that's going on here. I mean,
And that your people want to know. So, I mean, you hear it, you see it, there people are clamoring and they're gonna listen to whoever steps up to the microphone. So if you guys have something that you want to say and get out to your people, then by all means, we are your platform.
So just an example is just when we get ready to reopen the skateboard park with the renovations. And, that's something that is something nice to get out there, when you get some good news out.
And I was thinking about the swim program.
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, the swim program would be wonderful. Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's what works. That's really, just I've been kind of pushing stuff on a lot of the councilmen, talking to Bill Troy from the Siskiyou Daily News,
Yeah.
trying to get that out there. This is another avenue that we can get that information out there and just encourage the public to be a part of our council meetings in one way or shape or form, this is, I've said this from day one, I'd love to see this thing filled every council meeting. I might not get that from the rest of the council, but I'd like to see this filled up every time, but I want the public's input on it, whatever we can get, and this is just another avenue of doing that.
It's interesting you say that, but since Dunsmere has been doing the Dunsmere is full, it's ridiculous.
Nice.
I mean, it is, so I don't know what is triggered it, I'd love to say it's us, but I mean, it is interesting, more people know what's happening, so maybe that goes hand in hand.
Okay, Mr. McCoy?
When you need a motion.
Yes, that's whatever you guys want to do.
This is Councilman McCoy. I will make the motion to approve of proposed agreement with Siskiyou Media Council as is presented.
I'll second that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was just second, yeah.
He actually had his hand up on this
I
one.
thought you wanted to say something to me, so I stopped and looked at you. I thought,
Jeez, it's a mess. Councilman Middleton, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion in a second. Mr. Gray, would you please do roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem Baird.
Aye.
Councilmember Freeman.
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton.
Aye.
Mayor Keg.
Aye. Thank you so much.
And then, thank you.
Thank you for all your hard effort and work into this.
Mr. Mayor, can you, not for you necessarily to do it, but can you kind of, because we can't all meet, after this, unless it's a meeting, kind of maybe we can work out a way that we can communicate with staff, figure out, when we have ideas, when they have ideas, make sure they get down to Paris's
So I think-
computer.
Yeah,
I think
we
that'd be a good
we
deal.
can work, do we have your cell phone number?
Yeah,
again?
and Arthur.
Arthur does?
You've
Okay,
got
so
it right
Arthur
there.
does.
We text each other regularly.
When you get a chance, send it out to us with a
Yes.
little,
Awesome.
Yes, and I'm using some duties as information officer as well, so I'll try to get more.
because we have a new police chief and we have we just got a new
City clerk.
rescue vehicle. And
Yeah.
those are things, those are,
Yeah, we got lots of meetings.
Yes, definitely.
So those are things that should be out there.
Those two guys right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, lots
Give
of
me the
stuff
cards.
that's going on.
Right.
So if I understand correctly, the reason I don't see anything on Yreka on the channel is nobody calls them?
Well, I think if we have more communication, we might see more things. So
I
we'll
think
see.
so too.
Answers
We
yes.
we'll try to be more cooperative or whatever. and-
It's a joint effort, like you said, and being proactive, like I was stating with, getting a hold of Bill Choi in the newspaper. It's,
Yes.
I talk to him once a week at least, so.
So
It's one of those things that was just that communication, and I'm sure you've noticed the newspaper and how much
Oh,
more
yeah.
positive city things has come about, and you know, he's trying to do, yes.
Mr. Mayor, I just would like for us to recognize Richard Ventus.
Yes.
Who is the president or the former president of the Siskiyou Media Council for how many years? A lot. Yeah, a lot of
A lot of
years.
years.
So, Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, I mean, it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate it.
We'll be really good for you.
We appreciate it.
I know, and we'll try to do our part.
Yeah.
We will do our part.
Yes, like I said, it's a joint
I
effort.
thought you were gonna say something, so I stopped. And I looked at you, but you didn't see me, so I just went on.
Thank you, guys. All
Try
right,
to
so
be-
we are at the end of this.
No closed session.
That was it.
No, we have closed section.
We have, so
Yes, we do.
actually, if there's, Mr. Bray, is there any staff reports that you would like to present to the council?
As your acting city manager for the last 2 days, one of which we weren't here, I have no report. Chiefs, either one of them.
Chiefs?
I'm sorry.
I'll just keep it real quick.
Oh, chief?
Oh, was yesterday a day for you?
Yes.
Oh, so yesterday was the easy day for Matt.
There were lots of fireworks up at my house on July 4th.
Jared?
Not at the house.
I'm sure I agree with the mayor. and
Been
my colleague.
busy, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I took an update, fleet manager Tim Shaw and I went to Florida on an expense paid trip by the manufacturer of the apparatus that we're purchasing. And it is beautiful. Everything went without a hitch. And so
Except for us calling you every 5 minutes. Out of fire.
And then there's that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it looks great. Everything was good on it. We didn't have any major problems. We added a couple minor things that were, both operationally and safety wise. And so anyway, it should be showing up sometime this month. If there was a delay on, they had a shutdown for information technology stuff they had to go through. So anyway, we haven't gotten an update, but as soon as I do, I will let you know, and then hopefully it'll come out here next meeting or by the end of the month, maybe the next meeting after. We'll see. So anyway, it's looking good. Secondly, on the 4th of July, as far as the fireworks went, we had one call.
Wow.
That's
One
all.
minor, just the box was burning after somebody set off some illegal fireworks. So burning took place. It was gut wrenching, heart wrenching for everybody, I know. But I just want to thank all the residents and people that, obliged and did the right thing. So for what that's worth. So hopefully down the road, we'll, like I say, take care of it earlier rather than later. And it was kind of tough, but under the circumstances, it was done.
I just want to thank you guys, both the chiefs, for
Yes.
their involvement in that. I
And on
mean,
that note, yeah, YPD did the heavy lifting as far as going and doing that cold call to the vendors, and everybody was super cooperative. So.
it was a joint effort. And it was amazing. You guys pulled it off, and like you said, everybody was safe, and under the circumstances, it was just about as extreme as we could get. And so that was.
And I do agree with Lorenzo, we need to start earlier.
Yeah, no, we definitely do.
Way ahead of time, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have, unless you have other questions, but that's, I'll keep it, try to keep it short.
No, so we just thank you, and thank you for doing everything. Okay, anybody else? Anybody else, Matt?
No, have we got an update on the fire? Matt?
Which one?
Yeah. Any
Well-
fires that.
Well, just real quick, and I apologize for not bringing it up, we did have 2 crews out on, one on the log fire, one on the one at Yreka. They were out overnight. They all got back safe, did a great job, and then, what I understand, Highway 97 is now open.
Oh, good.
Log fire is at 25,001 acre roughly, 72% contained. The tenant fire, I think, is, not sure on the containment, but it's things are going pretty well right now, and I think pretty much have it, lined and wrapped, so should be, coming together, but yeah, it's just
And the salt fire?
that I don't know either. I'm not sure on the status of that one, but yeah, it's.
Freeway's
still
been
on
open.
freeway burning, so pretty good.
They've been able to keep the freeway open after they closed it.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
That was a
And many
crazy.
structures, were there many structures lost
For which.
on the lava fire? Because I did.
That's a tough one because to my knowledge, I did see a report, I believe there were a few, but I'm not sure if they were, I think those might have been in the Vista, some of the structures in Shasta.
Probably non-permitted built structures.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but before that started to burn, so it was all in the national forest and this area.
Now it's up at the timberline I was looking at today when we're coming up over Anderson Grade and looked up there and you could see the smoke rolling just right at the timberline on Mount Shasta. It's like way up there now. That's crazy. I just want to thank both you guys, like I said again, and Mark, Mr. Chief Gilman, your service and going out there too is just, he helped with the evacuation. He was out there late at night doing evacuation and had his guys out there helping, and they're just truly devoted to our city and our community. Both those guys are just, you guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank
All
you
you
guys.
guys.
Say something to them here in a second. I just want to let you know about the department. They've been amazing. As short-staffed as we are, all the issues that we've had throughout the year, when these fires took off and the sheriff's department called me, needed help, I made phone calls and I had people showing up, loading cars and going. I mean, it was amazing. We had people out there every night. They needed bodies. We were one of the first agencies out there. I went out there.
Right.
It was been really good. I mean, this department, they're amazing.
Nice.
All the hours they put in, they still ran out, took care of it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, that's super awesome. Right.
Do we have someone on the call, Mr. Mayor, that wants to talk about fires? I thought I
don't
saw a
see
fire
any.
chief. I thought there was a fire chief on there, but I don't.
I don't do it.
That would have been during
Okay.
public comment.
Yeah. Okay, is anybody else, Matthew, do you have anybody else or anything? Did you have? Nope. Okay, great. Well, then we'll go to councilman's reports. Joan?
Well, I just wanted to let Council Middleton know that I know where your family came from. As you know, I was on vacation. I was in Idaho and I came through Middleton, Idaho. So
We own
I
the town.
asked around in Middleton, they all know you.
Yeah.
We own the town.
Corey.
Anyway,
Corey
I
Town.
have no report. It's gonna be busy for the next week or two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna
no,
be
I
very
actually took a vacation and had a wonderful
Good.
anniversary
Anniversary,
with
yes.
family. And so it
Nice.
was nice, but I wanted to take a picture, but
For sure.
Harry went by it too fast. Oh, don't tell the cops. It was fun.
How funny.
Mr. Rickland?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass tonight.
All right.
I don't think I have anything except I want to bring up for an agenda item that's something we do need to discuss. If council agrees, is we do need to flip back. And I know it's been pushed off because of other things, as we do need to discuss the shopping cart ordinance.
Yes, so can I elaborate just a little bit on that?
And
So I did have that discussion with our city attorney today about that, just so you know. And so, yes, we do need to bring that back up, but we need to actually have a little bit more discussion on it because he actually does not have the proper guidance on what direction to move all the way on this. So there's some gray area hasn't been.
Because I need to see
hasn't been
completely, so I
cleared
need
up.
I need to have something in front of me because I have
So I
nothing.
think this is a whole other thing that we need to bring back up completely again, unfortunately, and start almost from round one.
Oh.
Unfortunately, because there is some stuff that's been talked about that's different now than what it was then. So like I said, I think this is definitely something we need to bring back soon. I don't want to bring it back up the next agenda, if you don't mind. It'd be
Hopefully the
the
next
following
one.
agenda. Like I said, I was supposed to talk to Don about this before, but
Yeah.
with everything going on with the change of command and everything else,
Yeah.
I really feel that we need to have interim Randy Johnson at least on board one city council meeting, and then bringing this up on that. Or if you guys would rather have a workshop, that's fine too.
No, we need to get it, no,
Yeah.
we need to get it done.
I would rather just
There's,
bring it
I
up.
told you, there's 99, when I counted
told
last
Dawn
week,
today.
99 out there and one electric cart. And those electric carts have got to be easy $1,000. I would say seven.
Doesn't the battery run out after 10 minutes where they break down?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Only has two in the store.
who do-
Two
Where at?
electric carts in the store because they keep getting stolen.
Which store?
And I can't walk
Walmart.
Walmart. And I
Walmart.
can't walk
oh,
around
Walmart? Okay.
So I have to just sit there while my sister shops and wait.
And this isn't a Walmart store because I guess I should take, I'll take a picture and send it to you. And if you can tell me who it is, I'd like to contact them.
Yeah.
Because if you recognize the cart, but it's not a Walmart.
Okay.
I'll send you a picture. I'll go out and take a picture tomorrow.
So then, okay, so that would be if we are, I'm sorry, Corey, I know
It'd be
you
the
want to
first
move
one in
forward on this. And I
The
obviously
seventh.
want to move forward on this.
The
one.
As
seventh.
soon as you
So
guys,
we have
First
20th,
one
so
in
it would
August.
be the first week in August and you're flipping it up to,
what is that? That's
which would be the third,
So around third.
August 3rd. Is that okay? If that's, and we'll just put it as an agenda
And
item.
you'll let the attorney know.
And that's, this time I will, but we, anyways.
And then
That gives
I,
them some time. too.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but we are having a homeless meeting on Thursday.
That's,
Okay, homeless Thursday.
And that, I think that's it. Yeah, 4th of July was a little bit quiet. I had some legal fireworks, big explosions by my house and fire
Did you?
and going up in the air, so.
oh, geez.
We did too, by our house on Cedar.
Yeah,
We had a lot.
it's the
going on
same
that
person
night.
every year. They do it every 4th of July, every New Year's Eve. So it's the same house. That does it every year, but so, other than that, it was very quiet.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
It was like 12:07. It was kind of like quiet.
There used to be a sheriff up near us that shot bombs.
Yeah. We actually back years ago, there was actually a councilman that I know of that
Shot
used
him
to-
off.
Yeah, probably not the best
Oh,
thing.
I know which one.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm sure you do.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because usually it goes on all night long, but at like 10 o'clock was quiet.
Yeah, it's weird. It was so weird. It's be quiet. It's like, wow. It's easy to watch them right in front of our house. I mean, it's perfect view to watch them. And it's like, wow, nothing.
Well, you know, you could sell them at winter time and let them shoot
Well,
off
that's,
on New Year's.
and I guess that needs to be brought up because that's what.
Because you
the,
can, you can get a permit from the.
Yeah.
We got it when I was with VFW, we got it for the VFW Ross Nealon Post to sell them in the wintertime.
Yeah, and I guess that's a discuss, that's what they're talking about, wasn't it? I think that we got that
Yeah.
notice that
Yeah.
they're, Rain Rock is possibly doing it for a New Year's celebration.
Because
That would
I
be
don't know if
great.
you've seen the news, but like Phoenix High School sold them up there in Phoenix. And they got hammered by the public. Public came in and swore at
did.
them, cussed at them.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, they got
Oh.
hammered. It's what the, you know, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it was bad. So, you know, we're not in a mood right now where people want you selling them. But number two, it's, I mean, there's so much fire.
Yeah. Anything else, Mr.
Dry.
That's it?
Too dry.
That's it for me.
It was the right thing.
Okay, I do have a couple of things, but to finish up on the fireworks conversation, there's a lot of talk on Facebook regarding New Year's Eve celebration with it. And I would be in support of that, and then the
I don't do it.
nonprofits could still sell, they just sell at a different time of year.
All they have to do is they get a separate permit. They have to get special dispensation from the
The governor.
from the
Okay.
governor, from Sacramento. But, and it doesn't, it takes like an extra 5 or 10 minutes to fill out the permit.
Cool.
So it can still happen, but
Jerry has to sign
State
it.
fire marshal is the one that dictates. what
State
time
fire
of the year
marshal?
you can sell.
Sell them, yeah,
Even
yeah.
states the same. So
In Sacramento.
I heard contradictory to that, but I'm gonna look into it.
Great.
The final word.
Oh, I know
Cool.
several
That would
times
be
we were
great,
able to, so
yeah.
you let us know.
That'd be great.
Awesome. Cool.
Jerry.
Debbie Bear?
okay, Dwayne K. Okay, so we've had a discussion on the sound system in here, but we have not made the decision. We need to bring it back one more time, not the next one, but maybe the second one in August, and make a decision to move forward with that regarding the sound system instead of keep kicking it down the road. Por favor.
Okay,
I
so
thought we did ask staff to.
they're actually supposed to bring back, was it, I'm
They
sorry,
brought back
Arthur,
the
weren't
prices.
we
The minutes shows
supposed to
up.
look back into some more information, was it there? Or what?
They brought back the
I
prices.
believe,
Sorry to put you on the
the
spot.
two quotes were so dissimilar.
Right,
It was like, I believe one for each, just like drink watermelon and water.
yes.
So that was one contract with
There you go.
revamp of the building, similar to the bid that was
Good.
submitted, 22nd
Thank you.
Will that happen to be around the end of August maybe? Because even if we approved it, it would be a couple months, I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure.
We'll ask Greta tomorrow.
Okay, and it's not an urgent matter, it's just, can we get this taken care of matter?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, please.
If you're on the phone listening, I can tell you it's urgent. The sound,
Oh, yeah.
the sound on the Zoom is so poor. I'm
It's
just,
different. Well, and getting back to Channel 4, I did watch our city council meeting on Channel 4 here a while back. It was just like less than a month ago.
Could you hear?
Huh?
Could you hear what was?
No, not real well. but
He can't hear here.
I can't hear anyway, so.
here,
That's
here,
pretty irrelevant,
here,
yes.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to insult.
What were you saying about Dwayne Cornell?
Exactly. Sorry, Debbie.
Okay, and I wanted to confirm that
Oh,
that we are still having our workshop on events, tourism and business on the 12th.
well, that's-
Remember we
that's what we were-
scheduled that?
Yes, and that's what we were
Of July?
discussing. Arthur, didn't you
On the
have?
12th at 5 o'clock is what I have. Is that still a good date?
Because
That's
we
a-
were,
That's a Monday.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Discussion of events, tourism and business
Okay.
services. Yeah,
The 12th at 5 o'clock. Everybody remember that?
I've got it. Arthur, did you send that out?
is that what?
I have Thursday, the 22nd,
Yeah, that's, I thought you had another date. I thought that's what you had.
at 6:30.
Okay,
So
so
Thursday, the 22nd would be
Thursday.
Thursday.
that would be a homeless meeting,
No.
because we have that on the 2nd and
Well, and
that's
that's,
2nd and 4th.
and that's what we were gonna clarify.
2nd and 4th,
I
yeah.
know, so but we're gonna clarify that, to Thursday night. I thought we
This
could have
Thursday.
a discussion on that if you don't
So,
mind.
so let's wait and until we
Okay.
have our
So it
discussion.
might be the 22nd or it might be the 12th.
That's, I think,
Yeah.
that's why, and that's why I text Arthur back on that I would hold off until we have
Yeah.
a meeting on Thursday to clarify that with the rest of the individuals around us to
Good,
see where
thank
we
you.
want to go with that on date wise.
And who knows, maybe it'll be the 15th, halfway in the middle.
Yeah.
I didn't have it in there, so.
Actually,
Oh,
I
okay.
do have a special meeting for that date on the 15th, and I don't know why.
That's why we.
It's just special.
It's special.
It's special. Okay. One more question.
Sorry.
That's okay, everybody's in a group conversation here. One more question regarding, has Avery, this is for you, sir, our acting city manager, has Avery gotten back? Have they completed their interviews with department heads, so they're moving forward?
We had a list that Avery had spoken with Mayor, Joan, Corey, and Debbie in person on the
Here.
22nd
Right.
here.
Right.
And then he spoke with some staff on the 28th and 29th, which was Retta, myself, Arthur, Don, and Mark. So
Okay.
So they're moving on. They're not waiting for any more fact-finding information.
Bill Avery has told me that he's
Oh,
coming back up.
Art's giving you the finger.
Bill Avery has told me,
No.
Bill Avery's told me he's coming back up. He's calling me in the morning and he said he
Okay.
has to come back up for interviews. So,
Oh,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Good,
okay.
good, good.
What did Arthur say?
Upper is indexing.
That's,
The finger.
That's a good thing to clarify, yes.
Sorry.
Can't see me in the camera.
I raised two boys, sorry.
I have one financial question in regards to Avery. I, as the mayor, received a bill first. That
Oh, you did?
Did the city actually receive the bill, or I just was going through my mail? I'm like, okay, why am I receiving the
A
bill?
I used to get bills all the time, ignore it.
Okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for
It's
this.
pretty early to bill us.
That
It's pretty
should've
early in the
gone-
cycle, I would say, to bill
That
us.
should have
It's,
gone to Retta. Retta is on the phone, I see. Retta, did you get a bill from Bill Avery or just the mayor?
She's probably not listening now.
Retta?
We wanted to save some.
I can clarify it later. That's fine.
We said send it to Dwayne.
Yeah.
We didn't want to save this.
She's unmuted.
No, I have not received the bill, so if you could forward that to me, please.
Retta to her, yes.
Yeah, that would probably be good.
And
Okay,
let
yes, I
him
will.
know- And let him know that all further bills go to Retta,
Yeah.
right, Retta?
Yeah.
Yes,
Maybe
you.
maybe was hoping that I just get caught in the rest of my bills and my, my wife or somebody to pay. for
Well,
it.
No, because he's working for the city, he's working for you. You are the,
Yeah.
you are,
Representative.
yeah, you're representing the city,
Right. Okay.
so that's probably why you did it.
He
Yeah.
doesn't pay the city.
I didn't look at it for, a week and a half later. I'm like, oh, I just probably noticed that we.
It's awfully early to be billing us, considering he's done.
Well, it's the first,
Just a little
it's the first installment, though, so we had installments.
Okay, to finish
Yes.
my report,
Yes, please.
I'm finished with my.
Poor Kelly.
Um,
It's such a fascinating report. We all have.
You
comments.
all helped.
So I don't have much to add other than, like I said, we do have our homeless meeting tomorrow, for the county wide.
It's 1:30.
Coalition tomorrow at
Yeah.
1:30
Day
at
after.
the Red Oak Room.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
This is the
1:30.
COC meeting tomorrow.
Correct. Correct.
That's
You know
tomorrow.
that. Not a lot of discussion
Tomorrow
there
at 1:30.
on recent stuff. We need to have a further discussion though on, I'm gonna be bringing up at that meeting though, more discussion on how their input is on urban campsite. So that's one of the discussions we're gonna be having with them too. The other discussion with them is we talked about, spoke with them about doing a summertime count. And I think at this time, we definitely still want to move forward with it, but I think we're gonna have to delay it till August now. Just for the fact, we were gonna do it this month is what our earlier discussion was.
Yeah.
But with everything going on with the activity of the homeless groups, that we need to figure out direction on the urban campsite first before we move forward on the count, just because we just need to get that more organized so they could, our count more organized too. And being that too, I don't know if the rest of you received some complaints on some of the homeless activity that's been going on. We have 4 new camps down in Deer Creek now. And this just
Is that
transpired
what
over the
these
weekend.
letters are about?
And 4 new camps there, and they're really interesting. They're keeping it somewhat clean there, but they're
They're
parking.
taking over some picnic tables.
That's the problem I have with that, is they're taking over picnic tables and shouldn't be allowed to use that for their own personal use on a regular basis and claim it. They can use it, but they can't set it up as their own personal
Walk away from
property.
it.
That's public property. They should not be allowed to take it over. And then, as people know too, I don't know if the rest of your councils knows too, that Pacific Power Substation is now, they started the fencing on that.
Excellent.
And so that's moving forward. And I think, what was that, Mark, that's gonna be another week and then that'll be, this week, you said,
They'll be out by Friday.
by Friday.
Notify everyone, basically close it off.
When will the asphalting and everything be done for that walking bike path that's gonna go through there? It's a grant, like $72,000.
I will need to pull the schedule down.
If you could just give us a heads up on
Yeah,
that.
I will definitely.
Yeah,
get you on
even if
that.
you just email us.
Back to this issue, then going back to our urban campsite, I think there is definitely a urgency this Thursday's meeting to
Make a decision.
start to direct, because of this going
Yeah.
on now. There is probably an upwards of probably at least 20 individuals at that campsite.
You're
It's
speaking
a-
about temporary.
Temporary.
And then I'll make a quick presentation, like a couple minutes, on where we're going as
Yes.
far as the timeline for the EPA and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And-
permit
And the
work.
state, whatever, that little report that state, when we can start moving soil.
Yes. I think that's.
Oh,
that's-
we got word?
No, we haven't.
No.
No,
On
no,
Thursday.
no.
On Thursday night.
What's
What
that?
about
Thursday
the
night.
EPA?
Yeah, okay, on Thursday night, yeah.
So,
It has to
and
be
he's
approved by
also,
EPA.
and Paul, are you gonna, on the meeting too, are you or I gonna give a little or a little talk about timelines that we want to start doing some cleanup, a cleanup day? I think
Yeah,
we-
yeah, let's
you and I
talk about that,
discussed
if
doing-
any counselor are
Yeah.
involved or any people, and we're gonna get the homeless involved too.
Yes.
We're gonna go out and get them involved, we'll
So
feed them.
we'll
and
start doing some cleanup
keep them
on the permanent location. Start doing some
Hallelujah.
cleanup.
would
And
be
that way
great.
we
Yeah.
can
Yeah. when-
be ready for when we can. move
Corey and
forward.
I were out there. We noticed that it would. Yeah, I'd be happy to get my gloves on.
Yeah.
I
Great.
don't operate a chainsaw very well, but I can do that.
Dwayne, I'd also like, I don't think that the chief probably knows, but I've been back about a week, and in the week that I've been back driving up and down Main Street and other streets, I've seen your officers out twice giving water to people, checking on them that
Oh,
were,
good.
checking on
Awesome.
them that were, looked like they were, I saw the ambulance with one, but I saw two different officers on two different occasions, checking, doing a wellness check, getting some water out, making sure, kneeling
great.
beside them, talking to them, you know.
Right.
So I want to thank the officers for doing that, because it's hot. I know everybody here thinks it's hot, and it's not. Where I grew up, it's hot. It's 115, 120 right now, and we're used to it. We grew up in it, but this is hot for up here.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but his officers are
Yeah, they're amazing.
unbelievable. I couldn't tell you they were. So.
I have one question about that, and maybe the chief can answer that, but where is our cooling station? Yeah, I know that there's one in the library. Is there also one at the fairgrounds?
I don't think we have one, do
I
we?
think at the fairgrounds.
The library's for elderly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's for elderly.
There was something posted, but I can't answer that. I don't, nothing's come to us.
No.
I saw something on Facebook.
I did too.
If there's only one here at the
I
library,
did
but there's
too,
some,
and
there's
that's
a few in
why
South
I
County.
heard the library.
The library is listed. Dunsmere has 3 places. Mount Shasta has 2. Wheat has 2. We have the library, and it's only for older people.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Homeless
gonna say.
are not welcome.
We need one more.
Yeah, we do.
Get a nice.
This is something we need to bring up in soon discussion, so maybe we can
Yes.
start mentioning on and move forward on something on our
Maybe the
next homeless
community
meeting.
center.
We need, yeah, we
have
need to
that
start looking
nice-
at
have
some
that
places we
leased out,
have.
don't we?
Okay.
How about the community theater?
What about
Yeah,
community
especially
center?
with that big, huge, nice air conditioner. Why can't
Not
we
yet.
use
It's not
that?
done yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's not there.
I know.
Unfortunately.
All right, well,
Okay.
that's all I have, so we'll just adjourn this meeting and we're gonna go into closed session.